Hi there everyone, I'm Henry Bechelet from ICL, and we thought to take a bit of time to think about our winter sports pitch renovations. In our previous video we looked at grass seed selection, which is really important in terms of speed and quality of establishment, as well as in-season pitch performance, especially through those suboptimal growing conditions that we might experience during the winter. And of course, we name-checked the Pro Select 1 Premium Pitch Blend as being a high-quality choice. In this video, we're thinking about the importance of seedbed fertilizer choice, which is essential if we're going to establish that premium pitch quality and drive it towards maturity, both above and below ground, top growth and root development, to allow it to perform to the desired standard during the playing season. Now, generally, we might think of the establishment phase as just being a race to get to sward closure and the pitch back in play again. At all levels, groundsmen are always under pressure to get renovated areas ready for play as soon as possible. But what we might not fully appreciate is that the choice of seedbed fertilizer is much more influential and important than that. It can have much longer term impacts. Now, seedbed fertilizers generally contain nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium to support the developing seedlings through their establishment phase. We know the level of each of these nutrients that we want to deliver during this time, and so we calibrate our analyses and application rates accordingly. But what is clear from the research work is that the way in which these nutrients are delivered through this time can have both immediate as well as far-reaching consequences. An ICL trial carried out to assess a perennial ryegrass establishment on a sand-based root zone showed that the choice of seedbed fertilizer was still influencing root development months after the establishment phase, even though all subsequent treatments were exactly the same. This shows how important the seedbed fertilizer is, and of course how important those early weeks are too. Another independent trial looking at early establishment also showed how important seedbed fertilizers can be when promoting early sward development both above and below ground. With the same level of nutrition being delivered with either controlled release fertilizer compared to conventional sources of nutrient, it was found that the CRF or controlled release fertilizer treated plots had significantly greater seedling density between weeks 2 and 4, significantly increased turf quality between weeks 4 and 7, and significantly increased rooting, mean dry weight in this case, and traction as a result when analysed at week 7. Conventional fertilisers may appear great in terms of early top growth, but that might just be at the expense of rooting below ground. So at ICL, our go-to seedbed fertilizers, especially for sand-based constructions, are controlled release grades. There's the Sierra Blend Plus Renovator 2028, where we can't incorporate it into the upper root zone, or the Sierra Blend Plus Pearl Renovator, which is an 11-11-5, if you can turn it into the top 60 millimeters. This second Pearl grade contains a recycled source of phosphorus, struvite, that is slow release in its nature and is accessed almost on demand by the grassroots, which really helps drive the establishment phase below ground. We apply the 2028 at 25 to 35 grams per meter squared and the Pearl grade at 35 to 45 grams per meter squared, depending on the requirement. obviously the subsequent nutrition, moisture management and growth regulation will be needed to keep up the momentum with the establishment, but we'll leave that for another day. So if your renovation establishment really means something to you, then you really do need to select the right seedbed fertilizer, because it can have a real influence both above and below ground and in the short and the longer term. At ICL, we find that controlled release fertilizers provide the best results to support that early stage of establishment.